I'll send you. Okay. Okay. Thank you for reminding. Yeah. You too.
Wait, man, busy guy.
Yeah.
Arbab.
Anjing.
Today we have here with me Mr. Fajar Maulana Fikri. So for those who doesn't know him yet, he is currently working in one of the business establishment in coffee industry, of course, as head of quality control and green buyer. He is also a graduate from ZHAW, and then he is also Q Arabica Grader and also certified SCA. And today we gonna talk a little bit about educational stuff with him. As I think I received 4 or 5 topic a few days ago, but today we gonna talk a little bit about freshness in coffee. So those are people who are asking about how to preserve the coffee. The coffee quality in a longer time, because some of the people still believe that the fresh coffee is the best to use. Well, I have my own opinion about that, so we're gonna talk a little bit deeper regarding that. But first of all, this disclaimer: this is like for sharing purpose. Some of it is educational purpose, so it is not like a business advice. This is most of the time based on our own experience, and well, for me, you are credible enough sharing your knowledge about that, as I mentioned earlier. So for me, like, so we're gonna jump direct into the question, like about fresh roasted beans. Is it preferable to use or in a coffee shop, or well-rested coffee is preferable to use? So for me, like, basically what I believe and what I already experienced since before is fresh coffee contain a lot of gas, right?
Exactly.
Inside the coffee bean.
Yep.
So one of the things that we do is give the coffees some time to rest, and give them the gassing time, what we call degassing. So we let the gas kind of escape from the beans, because what I understand is the gas in the coffee beans it presents as extraction resistance. So while the gas quantity is still a lot inside the beans, it kind of hard for water to penetrate and do the extraction of the coffee. So, and that means also it will affect to the flavor if you brew it or if you serve it in a fresh state. So what is your thoughts about it?
So first of all, let's talk about the freshness itself first, the coffee freshness. So the coffee freshness is talking about when is the coffee are, basically we talk about when the coffee are ready to serve, when the coffee it's not yet ready to serve, to make it simple, right? So regarding the coffee freshness, there is a couple of variables that we need to see also here. Like first there is an oxygen, and then there is some temperature, humidity, and other kind of thing. And one of those also it's about the degassing as well. So degassing is talking about when the coffee was roasted, there is a CO2. It's formed when the coffee was roasted there. So when the CO2 form, it's filled inside the coffee cells, and then it's trapped there. And gases is always want to go out, right? So when the gas is want to go out, it's take a time for them to find a way to go out as well from inside the coffee. So that's why it's really important to give a rest to the coffee, to let the gas to go out from the coffee, and then later on it's easier for you guys also to extract the coffee when you want to brew the coffee in espresso or in a filter as well. Because if you didn't raise the coffee yet, the problem is the gases inside want to go out, still find a way want to go out, but you want to penetrate the coffee with the water as well, which is there is a two different way it's meeting each other and it will repelling each other, like the two magnet in the same.
Okay.
It will be it will be repelling each other. So that is the importance, one of the importance that you need to degas.
So basically, in that case, if the extraction itself cannot be optimized with freshly roasted coffee, that means quality for those who serving fresh coffee, also sensory experience that people getting from that cup is not at optimum level, right? Because well, they try to force the brewing while the beans itself is not yet in the ready state for brewing.
Yep, exactly. So it's such a waste also to brew a coffee that's still fresh, because you will not get all these flavor compound, which is like a sweetness, acidity, and some of the volatile compound also will not get extracted by the water, because it's hard for the water to penetrate the coffee itself.
Yeah, what I learned also, like the volatile compound inside the bean. First of all, there is volatile and solid compounds, right, in the coffees. So for the volatile compound itself, it takes some times until it increase around 1 to 2 around 2 to 3 weeks, something like that, and then the volatile start to exposing themselves, and then I think that's the range, the time range where you can get the optimum cup.
Yep, and you will get on the optimum cup after a couple weeks, and also it's depend on the density of the coffee, also depend on the variety of the coffee. It will affect on how long you need to degas of the coffee itself. And this kind of information, it's something that is very important as if you guys working in a roastery, or if you guys working in a coffee shop, that you need to, if you're working in a coffee shop, you need to ask to the people in the roastery, like how long the degassing for this type of coffee it takes, and how long for this type of beans it will take time to degas as well, because it's every coffee have difference. Like in Ethiopia was very dense, cell walls was very thick, and also pores is small. It take more time for the degassing for Ethiopian coffee, which is it's more dense coffee, because like others, let's say like Pacamara or other like big beans, it's take faster as well. Like 1 week or 1 week and a half, it's enough. But for Ethiopia, maybe it will take 2 weeks or 3 weeks. So it's information that you need to ask to your supplier or roastery if you are working in a coffee shop. Yeah, it's really important information.
Yeah. So it is also connected with the type of roasting that, let's say, your supplier doing, right? For example, if it was roasted for filter or espresso, that means when you mentioned earlier about the pores and the cell walls, that means these beans already went through a different stage of development there in the roasting machine, right? So they have different pores open up because they have different So it is one of the really important information to get from your supplier.
Exactly.
To be able to track the resting time, and also when is the time range to get the optimum coffees to serve.
Yep, exactly. It's important also for the roastery to keep tracking their coffee. For different type of coffee, they need to keep taste the coffee on weekly basis as well, to see when is the peak for the coffee itself.
Well, though I think there's a certain method where you can actually brew your coffee in a fresh situation. I mean, we've seen it a couple times, especially in a competition season. Most of the coffee was, some of the coffee was roasted really fresh, like just 4 to 6 hours. But I think it is also limited to certain varietal, right? I mean, some of the coffees can be treated like that, and you can, but of course it will require a different approach in roasting also. Like for example, this coffee, this is Q Iris from Enigma. This guy roasted just a few days ago, but it tastes good. But of course, this is like roasted in a small batch
Yep.
quantity, because I don't think in terms of production it can be replicable,
Yeah.
because you cannot just roast that way. Other types of coffee will require different treatment. The roasting.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what's your message for those who want to get a better cup experience, better quality to be served in their coffee shops?
So, since our topic is about freshness, so first try to communicate with your supplier if you are in the coffee shop or if you are in the roastery. Keep tracking about the freshness of your coffee as well, when it's the best time to serve, and you need to give also a range when you need to start and when you need to stop. I mean, when it's need to start, it's like the coffee should be already rested for a certain time, that it's okay already, even though it's not in the peak, but it's in the window of a good extraction. It's easy to extract like that. And also when need to stop, which is when the coffee is stale already, how long it will take after the bag is open as well. And also for the coffee shop, if you guys working in the coffee shop, it's also important for you guys to communicate with your supplier or with your roaster as well, to ask on how long the coffee it's get the peak on the quality, on the peak freshness. Let's say for some coffee 2 weeks, 3 weeks, maybe 4 weeks or more. That is really important to do a communication between a roaster and also the baristas until the customer. This chain is really important to keep communicate each other. Yeah.
So guys, rest your coffee.
Don't forget to rest.
Don't forget to rest your coffee. So because we want the consumer like always to have good coffee every time they come, right? Not today they taste really good and next week taste different. I think it's unfair for the consumer for them to pay the same price and get this different quality. Right?
Exactly.
All right, I think that's all for today. Thank you and see you in next episode.